Okay, so today I'm going to start about integration. Okay, so before that, what is model is one model like FICO model in an organization. Okay, so there is FICO model and model, SD model. Okay, so model deals with only material transactions, purchase of material, handling of material, issue of material. Only these transactions will be done in the model. Okay. So then why you need to integrate the model with the FI? Suppose whenever the end user from model has purchased any material, okay, or he received, he deliver, sorry, he received any goods from the manufacturing unit. So these are all have an accounting effect, right? So by doing integration of FI with any transaction happens in the model, system automatically update the transactions in the Okay, so like whatever the transaction I'm doing in the asset accounting, system updating the GL model. In the same way, the transaction which updates in the system automatically update the entries in the FI. How? By doing integration of FI with Okay, so as a FICO consultant, okay, our job in the integration of FI with is creation of GL accounts. Okay, and those GL accounts we have to assign into the OBYC transaction code. Remember what is the transaction code? OBYC. In the OBYC, we have to you assign these GL accounts, but this is nothing but integration of FI with Where we integrate the FI with the is OBYC transaction code. Okay, so before that, like we create an organized structure in the like we did the configuration, like in the FI side, we create the company code, then we did the basic settings. That is our job. In the same way, consultant also, he has to define his organized structure in the He has to do the basic settings relating to Then I mean, FI consultant sit with the consultant, then we can do the integration in the OBYC script. Okay, so first I can't directly show you FI with integration. So don't think my job is only creation of GL accounts and I can sit in the OBYC. Of course, in the real time, consultant will do his configuration. So then I'll create my GL accounts. I'll sit with him, and in the OBYC I can do the integration, right? But here, so if I want to show you the OBYC screen for integration, there should be organized structure in the So we have to do basic settings also here now. Okay, so what is the first we discuss what is the organized structure in the so we already created in the from FI company code. Under the company code, remember, whoever wants to start the configuration, suppose consultant or SD consultant, they want to start their configuration, means first as a FICO consultant from our side, there should be company code segment, whatever. That data should be there. Okay, even MMSD consultant, without doing our basic settings, without doing our organized structure, even they can't start their work. Okay. Okay, so we already created from our side company code. Then consultant, they'll create the plant. Under that, they'll create the storage location. What is plant? Plant is nothing but where exactly factory or port. Port means what? First factory is what their exactly production is going on, right? Port means where we can ship the goods for delivery of the goods. Okay, so these we can create the plant. Okay, then after that, under the plant, we have to create the storage location. Storage location means what? Okay, in the plant, you're producing the your product, then where you can store that? The storage location. So under the plant, we have to create the storage location. There, it may be storage of raw material, it may be storage of your finished goods, whatever. So this is FI. After FI company code creation, the people, they have to define these two, plant and storage location. Okay, And first, okay, what is okay, here I'm telling what is port. Port means actually this is not in our client premises. This is outside where we can deliver the goods. Why that port is plant? Okay, factory is where exactly the production is going on. Yes, I can create as the plant. Then why port is a plant? That is there where we are keeping our goods for delivery of the goods. We are shipping the goods for delivery of the goods. Why we have to treat them as a plant? Why we have to treat it as a part of our organization structure? Actually, there is FOB is there, free on board. That is international law. Okay, so when we are doing export out of country, so we have to enter that FOB, that is the international law. There are some rules and regulation. There are rules and regulation and terms relating to the delivery of the goods. According to that, there are ownership transfer without once you keep the material on the ship, and delivery without ownership. Okay, so according to the FOB, what is that? Delivery without ownership. I mean, delivery without ownership. And here, delivery with ownership. Okay, suppose it is nothing but ownership transferred once we keep the material on the ship. Okay, now my plant is in factory, and this port is in the Chennai. So from factory, I am going to deliver shipping the goods in the port, and the customer is somewhere out of country. Here, what is the condition? Once I kept the goods on the port, that the ownership is transferred to the customer. That is the terms. Okay, so from Hyderabad plant, I kept the goods Chennai. Whether once I kept the goods on the Chennai port, the ownership is also transferred to the customer, whether he received the goods or not. Okay, suppose from here, from Chennai port to customer place, he didn't receive the goods. That is not our responsibility, because once I kept the goods on the port, ownership is transferred to the customer. That is the meaning of once ownership transfer. Ownership is transferred once we kept the goods on ship. Okay, delivery without ownership. Delivery without ownership means, suppose I kept the goods on the port, but till it reaches to the customer. Once the goods reach the customer, then only ownership is transferred to the customer. Means what? Suppose any from here to here location, any damage of goods happen. That is our responsibility, not customer. Because the goods, even though we kept on the port, the ownership is transferred to the customer. Once he receives the goods, then only he receives the ownership. In between, any goods damage happens, that is our responsibility. Whereas once we kept the ownership, what about this one? Here, once I kept the goods on the ship, the ownership is transferred. Even though any damages happen, that is not our responsibility, because first condition is once I kept the goods on the port, whether it reaches to the customer or not, any damages happen. Okay, that is customer responsibility, not our responsibility. In case of here, delivery without ownership, till I kept the goods, till it reaches to the customer, the ownership is not transferred. Once he get the owner, he will get the ownership. So that is the reason. So in this case, I'm talking about in this case, delivery without ownership. Delivery without ownership. I kept the goods here till it reaches to the customer. The goods are where in our premises only, right? Once it reaches the customer, the ownership is transferred. Otherwise, any damages happen, that is our responsibility. Even though from factory I move the goods to the port, we should consider that in the port also, our part of organization structure, the goods are there in our premises. That is the reason we create as a port as a part of our organization structure. This is clear?
Yes, madam, clear.
Fine. So these are so many things we have to discuss. Yeah, first let me discuss about the MM flow. What is MM flow? P2P cycle. What we call this? We call this as a P. Remember this? We call this P2P cycle. Procurement to pay. Procurement to payment. Okay. This is very important. Okay. P2P cycle. Okay. In any interview, first they will ask you, for sure they will ask you P2P cycle. Okay. P2P cycle means suppose material required by the production department people. Okay, suppose they are doing some production. So if they don't have the required material, so they want some material who production department people, whom they will ask the store department people. If the required material is there in the store, yes, the store department people, they can issue the material to the production department. If the required material is not there, then the store department people again, they will create one purchase requisition. Okay, to whom? Purchase department people. So the store department people, they ask the some material requiring, these are the details. Okay, then they will send to the purchase requisition note to the purchase department people. Yes, now the purchase department people, they will get the inquiries from the different vendors, they'll get the quotations and they'll compare the price. And then whoever give the economical price, against them, they will create the purchase order. Purchase order means the purchase department people, they'll create the purchase order saying that to whom they'll create the purchase order, they will send to the vendor, whoever give the best price. They'll create the purchase order. While creating the purchase order, they will mention the who is the vendor number. So in our case, Reliance vendor, right? Okay, Reliance vendor. What is the material quality, quantity, rate, for which plant, company code, delivery terms, everything the end user will create in the purchase order. This purchase order is okay. Creation of purchase order, is it having any accounting effect? Anybody guess?
No, ma'am.
Yes. At the time of purchase order, there is no entry. I'm not going to get anything. I'm not going to give him anything. Right? This is just that purchase order we are sending to whom? We are sending home a vendor. Okay. Then we call, actually in some organization, there is workflow again to release this purchase order to the vendor. Workflow means suppose the purchase order value is say 10,000 rupees. Then it should be released by the manager. Suppose if it is more than 10 GM, if it is more than 1 lakh, it can be released by the director. So that is called release. It depends on the client to client. So the purchase order will be created by the end user, then he has to get the approval from different categories, right? So whoever below like 10,000 means manager, if the value is very high, then it can get the approval from the director. Then after that, he will send to the purchase order to the home vendor. Yes, now I am going to get the goods from the vendor. Okay, so now I'm going to get the goods from the vendor. Raw material is going to debit. Actually, when I get the raw material, what is the entry? Raw material is going to debit and GRIR is going to credit. Means actually, raw material is going to debit, vendor is credit, right? Why I'm giving GRIR clearing account? Okay, normally first we'll get the goods from the vendor. After that, what happened? The vendor will send us the invoice verification note, right? First, he will send the goods. Sorry, vendor will send us the goods. After that, maybe on the same day or after that, whatever. He will send us the invoice verification note. First, he will send the goods and we receive the goods. And right now, I can't give the vendor credit because once I get the invoice verification note from the vendor, invoice verification note means he will send us again the invoice note, like saying that these are the material we'll send you, this is the price. So these many goods we send, he will send us the invoice verification note. Then what I do? So I will check the goods received with the invoice verification note. Yes, whatever the goods, okay, 100 goods I received according to the invoice verification. Also, he also said that he sent us the 100 goods. Then I'll compare if everything is fine. Then I can able to give the vendor credit. Right now, I can't give vendor credit till the invoice verification time. But I can't give only one debit, raw material account is debit. I can show the liability against the vendor in my books of accounts, right? Somehow I have to manage, somehow I have to give the vendor credit to show the against the liability vendor. Instead of giving vendor credit, I'll create one control account or intermediate account that is under liabilities. GRIR clearing account, goods received, invoice verification, clearing account. This is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So okay, now, okay, on the same day or whatever, so next day, whatever, he sent us the notification. Okay, first I check the goods receipt. Okay, these are the 100 goods, price 75 rupees. Okay, delivery terms are this. So then I'll compare the goods note with the invoice verification note. Yes, fine. Then I can able to give vendor credit now. Vendor is credit. Then what should be debit? GRIR, right? What is the final entry? Can anybody guess? What is the final entry?
Raw material debit and vendor is going to credit.
Yes, this GRIR credit, whatever GRIR debit. So, are you there? No response?
Yes, madam. Yeah.
So, whatever GRIR is credit, GRIR debit is there. Right? So, final entry is raw material is going to debit, vendor is credit. So, what do you understand for GRIR? Tell me, Srinu. Why I created, why I credit there? Swarna? You tell me, Swarna.
Yeah, once we received from goods from vendor, till approved, we have to give credit to GRIR.
Okay.
Once approved means we have give debit to GRIR and vendor is going to credit.
Very good. Yes. Till the invoice verification, then we have to show the vendor. In my books of accounts, somehow I should show the liability against him, right? So that is the reason I created this. Once invoice verification done, so it will be debit and finally vendor is credit. Okay. Now, okay. Once I get the received MA people, they will issue the material, right? Raw material consumption. Raw material consumption. And we are using the raw material. Raw material is going to credit, right? So whenever I get raw material is debit, current asset is going to be debit. Whenever I used it, raw material is going to credit. Okay. Then raw material is going to credit. Then raw material consumption. So that amount, how much that material, suppose I used 50 goods into 100 rupees. Okay, you have to reduce from the current asset, raw material is going to credit. Then that 5,000 rupees you have to charge as a expenditure to the P&L account debit. Right? Raw material is consumption is the P&L account debit side, when GL account you have to create, and that can be debit there. and inventory raw material is going to credit. Understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Then, okay, issue the material, production is happened. Then finally, I received my finished goods, my product. I received my finished goods. Finished goods is where? What is finished goods? Finished goods is current asset. So raw material is good. Sorry, finished goods is going to debit. Stock is credit. How you are getting stock? How you are getting finished goods out of the stock? So stock is going to reduce. Okay, so finished goods is debit, stock is reduced. Actually, I will show you this. It is just little slight different from the normal accounting system. And suppose first I'll create increase or decrease in stock. Say this is the under liable 3 lakhs 120 or whatever under. Okay, so here what? This is my P&L account. Here what I'm telling. Okay, I got stock get increased. Okay, stock means stock increased. So what I do here, 100 rupees. Stock increased. Okay, if your stock get increased, P&L account, what is the GL account? Increase or decrease in stock. I'll create under revenue side. My stock is increased 100 rupees. This is the ledger 3 lakhs 120 whatever it, this is the ledger. Here I give debit of 100 rupees. In P&L account where you can show P&L account credit side. Increase, no? P&L account credit. Your stock is reduced. Out of the stock only you get the finished goods, right? Out of the stock, without using the stock, you can get the finished goods. By using the stock only, you will get the finished goods. So I use the stock. What happened? Here P&L account is credit. Here I credit. Where it comes actually when your stock is decreased? Here actually will come 100. Instead of showing that, I will show in the same credit side with the negatives. Understood? So I'll use only increase or decrease in stock. Increase in stock 100. Here I show this. Decrease in stock 100 credit. Instead of showing debit side, I can show in the same column. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the same I'm showing. Finished goods. It may be decrease. Actually, this is decrease. I'm getting finished goods means I can show this under current asset. Your finished goods is getting debit. So this increase or decrease in stock. This is decrease in stock. I can show here 100 rupees. And here I can show this one. Okay. I'll use only one GL account for increase purpose and decrease purpose. Increase means P&L account credit. Decrease means P&L account debit. Okay. So these are the entries. At the time of purchase order creation, no entry. Receiving of goods, and then goods received, then purchase invoice verification, then raw material consumption, then finished goods. These are all entries will be done. These are the transaction will be done in the MM. These are all I'm not going to post manually, remember. Goods received, invoice verification, raw material consumption. We use the raw material, we got the finished goods. There are all the entries, whatever the MM people doing, those transactions. System automatically update the FI because of doing integration of in OBYC transaction code. Okay. So to do the configuration in the OBYC, there are so many things I have to discuss: valuation class, grouping code, and transaction keys. and moment type. Yeah, let me tell this moment type. Like we have posting keys 40, 50 in case of vendor, 31, 25, 01, 15 for customer, 70, 75 for asset. Like by using the transaction, like by using the posting keys, we can able to, I mean, system can able to determine the type of transaction. In the same way, in the also we have moment types. Purchase of raw material. How system will come to know that is purchase of raw material by using 101. Issue of cost center. So the end user issue material to the cost center. By giving 201, he can issue the cost center. He taking some production receipt, 521. Delivery, he just delivered the goods, 601. So by using these moment types, these are very important. What are moment types? These are all similar to our posting keys. So in also we have moment types. By using the moment types, these actually 101, 201, 561, 601. Remember this. 101 what? Purchase of material. Okay, receipt of material receipt. And 201 issue of material to the cost center. Then 521 production receipt. Remember this. 521 production receipt, and then 600 for delivery of the goods. Okay. And these transaction keys I'll explain later. Just remember these are the moment types we use this. Okay. So to do the OBYC screen integration, can I do directly? There should be structure, right? So here what I do when we are doing practice purpose, we have to do structure also. But in real time, who is the job? Srinu, who is the job?
Madam, purchase department.
Consultant.
Yeah.
Okay. So here, but without creating them, I can't show you the OBYC. So that is the reason. Let me do the consultant job in our classes. Okay. First, he has to create the plant. Okay. Who did internal orders?
Statistical I have completed, madam. Real order I have to do.
I done, madam. Internal orders also.
Very good. Okay, so what I'm telling now, right? Enterprise structure. So definition and sorry, logistic general, define new entries, plant. Okay. And here factor calendar. Factor calendar means actually whatever your logistic people, they'll create the factor calendar. We have to assign there. Factor calendar means there, according to your client, they have some holidays, right? Whatever the holidays they follow, how many days, working days, Monday to Friday or Monday to Saturday. Okay, so what are the nation holidays they follow? What are the public holidays they follow? They can create the factory calendar. So logistic people, okay. So that factory calendar, factory calendar. Okay, so we have to assign here. Why I have to assign factory calendar means suppose by mistake your end user on national holiday and public holiday on Sundays, he is trying to receive the goods for this plant. He will not allow him. System will not allow him saying that this is the holiday. So it will show the error so that he will stop that posting from that day. Okay. So I'm here what I'm doing. I'm just assigning some standard one factory calendar. German based. In real time, we have to assign the whatever the factory calendar which is created by the logistic people. Okay, save it. So give company plant. Such a term I'm giving in 6P. Do this integration on daily basis. At least if you do this minimum 5-6 times, then only can understand. You will get a lot of errors while you are doing practice. Try to solve on your own, then only you will understand. Okay, if not able to solve means then you can get back to me. Otherwise, please try to solve on your own. Why I'm telling you know, if you try to solve on your own, then only you will understand the concept. Okay, so do this MMSD, whatever I'm telling, do this thrice, minimum thrice. And the fourth time, just renew the book and try to do on your own. Not only this, any topic, GL, AP, or whatever, just keep the book aside, just whatever you remember, try to do that on your own. Any problem, any issue, get it, you have to solve on your own. Okay, fine. Next, enter. Okay, then I create the plant. Next, define division. Like in a FI, whatever the plans we create, sorry, profit centers we created, product wise, we create the profit center, steel division, cement profit center, steel profit center. Those profit center represents as a divisions in the MM. Those we can create as a divisions. Okay. Go back. Division. Define division. So we can create the profit centers as a division. Only 2 digits actually it is. Okay. Let me create N6. Let me try with the N1. We'll see. Maybe it is not available. Oh, it is available. N1. Remember this N1. Okay. Division is N1. Next, storage location. Plant. Under the plant, we have to create N16P. New entries. Storage location. Okay. Then go back. Okay. Then planned division store purchase organization. So who will create the purchase order? Purchase organization people. Okay, their responsibility for all purchasing activities dealing with the vendor. Okay, so purchase organization. P. Okay. Then assign plan to company code. So I define the structure. We have to assign the plan to company code. Definition is over. Assignment. Assign plan to company code. New entries. Company code. Right, plant. What I did, I assigned the plant to company code. Okay, save it. Assign purchase organization to company code. Okay. Assign purchase organization to company code. Position, purchase organization, and company code. Save it. Next. Assign purchase organization to plant. Purchase organization to plant. Go back. Assign purchase organization to plant. Purchase organization, right? Plant also same. Next, these are all assignments. Now I just create this an assignment only. Maintain company code for material management. With this structure is over and assignment is also over, then logistic general. Material master. Basic settings. Maintain company code for material management. Okay. Here position, company code. Okay. Here, what is our physical year? What is the right now period?
10, madam.
Right? Why? What I'm doing here, no? Okay, in FI part, as a FICO consultant, I've opened the period. MM consultant also, he has to open the periods here. He has to enter now. Whatever the period, he has to enter. If he enter, then only the end user he can able to post in the January. He has to enter the period. Open is again we have to do next step. He has to first enter the period, then this period can be open later. So 10th period. Suppose at a time 2 periods the end user can work in the MM. How? Allow back period. ABP means allow back period. By selecting this checkbox, it will a system will allow the end user to posting in the allow back period, which is the previous month, December also. By selecting this checkbox, you can able to post previous month, which is December and January. Now also you can able to post. This allow back period means by selecting this checkbox, it will not allow the end user to posting in the December. Depends on the client requirement. Okay, I'll select this so that I can able to post if I want in the December and in the now existing month, January. Okay, here what I did, I enter the periods. That's it. Save it. Current calendar year. Okay. Our calendar year is 22 now, right now, but our physical year is 21 still. Next March up to our physical year is 21. It is saying that this is not your still calendar year. Okay, just ignore the message. Define attributes of material type. Okay. First, what is the process? I told you purchase order creation, right? And then goods receipt, right? Then what is that? Invoice verification. So to create the purchase order, okay. So before you purchase any transaction, before you are doing transaction with the vendor, you have to create the vendor master, right? That's it. Before you purchase any asset, you have to create asset master, right? In the same way, before you purchase any material, there should be material master. First, what you have to create? Material master. Then with reference to that, you'll create the PO, GR, invoice verification, everything. So first step start with material master creation, right? Material master means at the time of creation of material master, that may be raw material or finished goods material, right? So material means what is that? It may be raw material or finished goods. So you have to tell the system what type of it is, whether it is a raw material or finished goods. So that I am going to specify here. Suppose here I have to maintain those here itself. Okay, suppose I came here, define attributes, select position, raw material type, ROH means raw material. Select this, go for quantity value. Again position, enter. What is the valuation area is nothing but your plant. Our plant is, right? Our plant, okay. Whenever I purchase a raw material, for this plant. Okay, what is the meaning of whenever I purchase this raw material? Okay, for this plant, quantity of that material and value of the material update should, I want the system to update to that plant. Again, repeating. So whenever I purchase a raw material ROH for this plant, I want the system to update the quantity 100 kgs and value 5,000. I want the system to update into the system by doing this configuration. So this ROH where I have to give at the time of creation of raw material master. Okay, in MM01, in transaction code MM01, we create the material master. Not we means we don't create, logistic people they'll create. Okay, they'll create the material master. There they have to specify there that is the ROH or FERT, means finished goods. Okay, then they'll create a purchase order. Then after that, goods received, invoice verification. Okay, so when what I'm telling here, whenever I purchase a raw material, okay, I mean, whenever I receive the raw material for this plant, I want the quantity value update into the system. Okay, that if I don't do this configuration, whenever you receive the goods, 100 goods, value 5,000, it will not update into the system. Okay, select this. In the same way, we have to do for the finished goods also. Go back. Position FERT. Position valuation area FERT. So when I receive the finished goods also, you receive the finished goods from your plant, say for example, this is your finished goods, own finished goods. You are receiving these finished goods from the factory. When you are entering the finished goods at the time of your receiving from the factory, you want the system quantity and how much value you want the system to update to the plant. Okay. Next. Define attributes of material type. Then define material group. Okay. Okay. Then, okay. So here, what I told, I have to create a material master. There I have to specify raw material or finished goods. Okay. Again, I specify this is the raw material. Raw material means again there are so many categories, right? Which may be chemicals or liquids or maybe hardware requirement. Material may be anything, right? Not only anything. Raw material means it may be liquid nature or solid nature, and maybe gaseous nature. It may be what is that, hardware requirement, software requirement, anything. So that we have to first create the group, material group. Say for example, that is chemical group. First I'll create one group, chemical group. Okay, so this group name, again when I'm going to create the when I'm going to create the material master, there I have to specify. Understood? So first I have to create one material group. This material group where I have to mention, when I'm going to create the material master, there I have to tell the system this is the chemical group. Okay, so first we have to create this, then we have to specify in the material master. Material group. I'm creating with N16C. This where I have to give again the material master. Okay. Okay, fine. So by default, so many material groups are there. If you want, you can use them when you are going to create the material master. Okay. Pumps, electronics, so many material groups are there. Okay. Next. Okay, define material group is over. Then creating purchasing group. Purchasing group means suppose I have A material, B material. Okay, I have group. I say for example, but what I'm telling, purchasing group. So what I do, I created group 1, group 2. Okay, so I created group 1, group 2. In group 1, I assign the A, B, C, D persons. In the group 2, I assign the E, F, G, H persons. Okay, so here these are my raw materials. These are my materials. Okay, so these are X is my material, Y is the material. X material, when I'm going to create the X material master, they assign the group. When I'm going to create the Y material master, I assign the group 2. Okay. So who is the responsibility handling the X material? Group 1. Who is the responsibility handling the Y material? Group 2. Any shortages, any mishandling done in the X material, who is the responsibility? I can easily find group 1, right? Because group 1 I assigned into the material master X. So X missed out, the X material is missing, any shortages happen, I can easily find out who is the responsibility. Group 1 means who are the responsibility? These are the person. So I have to create one group here, purchasing group. So this purchasing group I have to maintain in the material master when I am going to create. Like this material group, I can assign it to the material master, and the same way this purchasing group I have to maintain in the material master. So at the time of creation of material master, so you have to tell the system what type of material group it is, who are the persons responsible for this material. We have to maintain all these things for tracking purpose. So but in the material group, I'll create purchasing group, say group 1. This again when I have to maintain when I'm going to create the material master. Understood? Any questions?
No, madam.
So first let me create this material master. It will start with create purchasing. Inventories. Only 2 digits, okay, 3 digits it is. So I'll create with N16, okay. So here I create one group, there you have to mention their names or fax numbers, everything you can maintain them. Their telephone numbers, their email IDs, okay. You can assign them. This N16 group, when I'm going to create a material master, there I have to maintain, okay. Save it. Okay, so we did up to here, create, okay, so this we discuss tomorrow, okay. Yeah, so whatever I'm doing, actually this is a whose job up to here, This is consultant will create. As a FICO consultant, I have to create the GL accounts. Then we can work on the OBYC transaction. Okay, we'll do that tomorrow. Okay,
Okay, madam. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.